Check to make sure I'm online. Sure. Morning. Oh man, I'm doing that thing again. Look. I'm not seeing it in my little window. The purpose of this was to see the chats in the window, but anyway, we'll start. So if y'all do hop in, I won't be able to see your comments. So just leave them. Say something if you have questions. If you're coming in just to say hi, this is me saying hello in advance because I won't be able to see your comments due to it not showing on this little black box window that you see on screen. So yeah, just you gotta have to bear with me. I'll possibly, after either going through about 5 people, I may go back and see if any comments were posted and answer, but most likely I won't be able to answer any comments. After this, I'm gonna have a separate little session after showing you what I look for on Hinge and all my little question or my procedures when I go on Hinge. Um, Mind you, I was getting matches at one point, but this was in a certain location at a certain time, and the ones that I was matching with, like I said, they weren't really their intent. It seemed like their intent wasn't really to find a relationship, or either they just didn't have the time. Anyway, let's get into it. So currently I'm in the Sac location. I set it to Sac somewhere, and this is who pops up. Mind you, like I said, out here in Sacramento, there are a lot of mixed breeds. So majority of the time, you're going to end up running into mixed breeds. And as for foundational Black Americans, there are very few out here. Yes, people say we have a certain amount, but in reality, based off of what I've seen, and when I go and travel around from state to state, especially back in some years back when I was traveling around, I barely was recognizing actual foundationals. But of course, a lot of them I could only assume visually, but for some I did talk to. But you'll most likely get more foundationals basically on the east or the south, um, possibly Midwest. But like I said, it's not as many as you think, but there are some. As for if they're full, I don't know. Anyway, let's get into it. So this is one chick. I've already looked at her thing, but I'm gonna rehash this. She said, let's get together. When I see these things, I don't really interact with this, but I'm gonna do it for the purpose of this video. So choose a time and place. You get to choose this week, this weekend, next week, next weekend. Now, mind you, you're thinking that, oh, this must be somebody who would want to go on a date right away. No, it is not. It's just some little interactive thing that Hinge has included on here to kind of shorten up the process of you having to type a message to them about setting up a date. But this kind of gives you something where you can set it up without having to enter in the messages. And that's if you get a date, if it goes beyond just communicating on Hinge. And typically it really doesn't. And based off of what you choose, she gives, these are options. Now they have like preset options on first dates, but then they also have where you can put your options that you want to have for a first date. So yeah. Next section, she says, pick the one that's gotta go. Seafood, TV/movies, or music. I said music weird, but I don't really listen to music. I've over these decades, I stopped listening to music like that. Only recently have I just started to get back into it. So I pick music because that has to go. Even though I've stopped watching movies and TV for at least, I think 5 years. So that could go, but I'm currently back and trying to watch that. So music will be well, I don't know. If I go based off of now, what I feel now, I would say possibly seafood, most likely seafood. But if I'm going off of what I did in the past, then it would be music, because I literally went without music for a good 5 years. I didn't listen to shit. I listened to nature. That's what I was listening to. One thing you should know about me is I'm not big on anime. It's fine. I got out of anime due to a lot of reasons that I'm probably not going to get into on this, but I love comic books. I used to collect comic books. I didn't collect it like heavily. I remember back in the day when I was a bit younger, and I still got, I think I still got two of them that I currently have. But I used to go out and buy Sonic the Hedgehog comic books, specifically the ones that had Knuckles, the Enchetna on there. Those were the main cast of characters. Not all the Sonic characters were around at this time. We're still, in the process or never were created yet. So it was the choices of Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Sally, the Acorn, I think she is, and some guy with the whiskers. I hate it when they had included, when they had came out. This was on like Saturday morning cartoon or something. Um, they had introduced Sonic X. I hated that they brought in humans in the world of Sonic, because I remember the old Sonic, the one Sonic movie, if y'all ever seen that. I think it came out when I was like a really little kid. I'm not sure. But I remember watching that, and in those, it was no human. Eggman was the closest to a human there was, and he wasn't even shaped completely like a human-like character, head and body wise. But then they had Sonic X, and then they threw in this little white boy in there who was human, and all these other human-like characters, and I was like, oh man. But anyway, I collected Sonic the Hedgehog comic books, and they were cheap back then, I remember. And I collected this other comic. I have to look for it, but I don't have it on me. It's where they were all like cats. They were like, it's not Thundercats, but they were actual like furry cats, uh, like anthro cats. It was a cheetah. Uh, he had a sister cheetah. The leader was a lion. Then the panther. The panther was considered the black character in the group. A Black Panther, and they had a tiger. And this tiger was, they made the tiger like a player, and he also ended up dating the male cheetah's sister, the female cheetah, and whatnot. And then they were a band. They were like a cat group, and their, I guess their antagonist group was like a group of wolves or foxes or something like that. So yeah. Anyway, I kind of went on. I'm a collector, absolute DC over Marvel. Um, if I had to choose, it'd probably be Marvel. I did watch DC. Uh, there were some interesting characters when I was younger. The Green Lantern, the black version, I used to watch him. Better villains, better storylines. I died on this hill. I'll die on this hill. Um, I don't know if I'll comment or make an argument over that. I could, but California, and here it goes. Haitian and Creole Spanish, meaning she's Haitian. She's not a foundational. She's Haitian, and she's probably Hispanic. So it's probably either a Haitian mother and a Mexican father. I don't know. Or flip. I don't know. But you'll see a lot of these, not Haitians, but you'll see a lot of the black females out here nowadays are mixed with Hispanic or Mexican. Like I said, during the era when I was younger, it was that time period where black females, and that's still where they were saying black man ain't shit, which we all found out that ain't true. and what was really going on. But they were pretty much seeking other groups, and one group would be Mexicans. And this is why you get a lot of black females out here. Typically, their favorite food, I'm pretty sure about what 80% of them you can guess, and they'll say Mexican food, literally. Um, y'all won't know my dad, but literally my dad's last wife, that was all she wanted, and she was a mixed breed, or a light skin, or caramel skin. Anyway, so for as me, that makes it iffy because, like I said, I'm typically looking for a foundational and not mixed breeds. Or for me, it depends, but it depends on what the mixture is. But she want long term, open to short term, monogamy, travel some more. I want to book first and think later. I've always been someone who calculates everything before I do it. So I'm trying to be more spontaneous. When I see females say travel, to me, she's 28. So to me, it's like, what type of travel? So she kind of hints on what type of travel because she says book first. So that seems like she wants to take a plane and go somewhere far or within the states or outside the US. But why I'm hinting on that, or why I'm harping on that, really is because my my career path is where we travel. I'm constantly traveling to state delivering, trucker. So yeah, I always look at that, and if it's not, damn, it's loud. If it's not specific, then sometimes, and if I like the chick, I would comment and say something along the lines of trucking to see if that traveling would include trucking. But like I said, it's very slim to nil. A lot of these females want to deal with a truck driver, but the ones who end up doing so, I don't know. I don't know what their experience or they dealt with, and I'm new in trucking, so I'm considered still new. Um, the way to win me over, I cannot do nonchalant. I am a very caring person. When I care deeply. I need to have someone that knows how to show me reassurance and that they care. It's a non-negotiable. Must have word ran out of words or letters that you can type, because they have a max limit. So sometimes you gotta, when you're typing in these little prompts, they have a certain max limit of how much you can type. And if you want to get everything in there, you gotta either cut out some words and make it broken English, or you gotta make it short and possibly put, instead of spelling out R-A-R-E, you gotta just put the letter R so you can get things in there. But yeah, um, this is all great talk and everything, but that's what I look at it is. I know it's typing, but figure of speech is great talk. It all depends on when you're actually with the person to see if what they're talking about is actually what they are about. Uh, Thickums, for me, because I mean she's young, pansexual. I don't know exactly what that is, but whenever I see these different sexualities, to me I'm just like, nah, because I don't know what that. I could look it up, but I'm like, yeah. She drinks, doesn't smoke, and she smokes weed, and she does drugs sometimes. I have no on all of these. I don't drink, I don't smoke weed, and I don't do drugs. So that's another no in my book. Now, y'all may think I'm picky. I'm far from it. I've done chose females who do the smoking and whatnot. And as I would say on these little dating sites, I still didn't end up matching with them. And then I've met females who smoke. As for doing drugs, I don't know if they did drugs, but I know they smoked or did something like that. Smoked weed. I've tried. It is just too. Oh, I'm tired. Too difficult dealing with that because it's like, especially if they need to smoke often, then you get that smell. And my health wise, it's not good for me to be around cigarette smokers or smoke of any kind. Specifically more as cigarette smokers, but I'd rather avoid a lot of different smokers. I don't got time to inhale that. I have a cousin that smoked weed every fucking day, and I used to hang out around him. And when I hung out around him, I think I ended up getting some type of secondhand smoke where all of a sudden I got these like dark patches and I wasn't even smoking. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then I got to a realization that I need to get the fuck away. I need to create some distance and not hang out with him as much or tell him, hey, don't smoke when I'm here. Of course, he did do that, but, you know, he's a smoker. So, anyway, let's move on. So, I'm going to press the X for this one. Next one. She looked fine in this shot. Like I said, black females look fine regardless. A lot of them are very attractive and body type wise. And you know, most of them don't end up needing to get cosmetic enhancement, even though I've seen a video of it was a black girl, or either black or half black, I don't mix what I'm talking about, but of a black girl who literally went out to get lip injections, to get lip fillers. And I'm like, motherfucker, you already have big lips. You look fine the way you are. But she got it anyway. I think it's somewhere on YouTube. She got it anyway. And then after the surgery, and after the process of healing, it ended up looking botched. So now she got some fucked up oversized big lips, and she looked like a cartoon character, and then she started feeling upset that she even did it. I'm like, what insecurity led you to then want to do this? Like, really? And most of us, especially us foundational black people, we ain't saying y'all whatever. We enjoy what you are, who you are. Most of, I'm not gonna say all of us, I'm gonna say me. So, and the fact that you did that and you already had big lips, thick, beautiful big lips, and you went to go get some fucking lip injection just to become bigger is ridiculous. Now, there's an actual YouTuber, her name is E. She went and got lip injection. You can see it based off of her old She was in the the show, or yeah, it's a show. The what's it called? Um, the lesbian homie. You can look at her during the process of the first season or first episodes of that. You'll notice her lip change, especially towards the end of the episodes. I think she got a lot of different cosmetic enhancements, just like that one tall Amazon girl who went on Drewski's Could Have Been Love thing. She had got hurt. She had got butt injections or something like that, a BBL. But they be doing these things, and some of them do it because they either lack it, and as you know, E is light skinned, so um, she damn near can pass as a 10% or light bright, but she's light skinned, and so sometimes these light skins, due to having mixture traits. Now, this can also happen just from black women, and the genetic line just skipped you or something. But I think due to her having, I guess, little small lips, I don't remember them being too, like, not as voluptuous in the lips. But I guess for some reason she felt that they were too small, and so she increased the size. Anyway, I'm going off. This is the next one. She says, my most irrational fear. I, at this grown age, can admit I am still afraid of the dark, which is fine. I used to be afraid of the dark when I was little. I had to have a night light, so I ain't tripping. Straight. Don't have children want children, and she smokes cigarettes. That's what, when I see, because like I said before, most black females, it's like they all smoke weed. I cannot end up finding a black woman who I'm attracted to and who's attracted to me who doesn't smoke weed. They all fucking, like, it's ridiculous. But most of the times when I see one that smokes cigarettes, it's like, wow. But yeah, she smokes, so she a complete smoker. Cigarettes and weed, that's a complete no for me. In this case, if I wasn't doing this screen sharing and kind of bringing y'all along, I would have already clicked the X. I typically go through this little bar right here. If I see they have children, then it's an X. I don't really keep scrolling because I don't have children. That's specifically why I don't go with the ones have children. If I see in this bar, it has have children, or it doesn't even give the prompt, because right here you cannot answer the question or choose to have it not visible. And so when they have it not visible, meaning this little prompt right here don't have children, or it doesn't have children up there, that means to me, in that regards, it means that you have children, you just don't want to say it, and you're in hopes that the person who's scrolling down your timeline is not looking through that, and then they just click on you and possibly waste their like, because this Hinge gives you limited likes a day, and then it resets every 24 hours. Then they give you one free rose. I do not pay for this, because paying is a waste of time, especially if you're a man. You're going to get a lot of females who ain't going to fucking meet up with you You're going to get a lot of them who end up wasting your time on the talking, this little back and forth chat type thing, and you don't ever end up seeing them. So it's a lot of wasted money. That's why a lot of men have this is why a lot of men have realized that going to those date nights that most often are set up by women to go do some blind dating are a waste of time as well, because majority of the females, they ain't looking to get with the men who do go out there and try to find someone. They're already complaining about the ones who are there. And thus, if it'll be one individual who will walk in there, a man who's attractive enough and makes the amount of money that they're looking for, or who's overly attractive that they all want to get with, and that's all who they focusing on and trying to get, if they compete with each other to get that one individual. So then all the other men who came out end up spending hella money or whatever the amount was for nothing, and walked away with nothing, or walked away with a number, but once you left that party or left that little event, they ain't ever gonna contact you again. That's one little thing that females have, some of the smarter ones have started to do to de-escalate, because some don't do this to de-escalate a situation if they feel that it's gonna end up being something that's maybe threatening. Is they'll end up giving a number. That number could be a number that is working but not their number, or they can give you a number that completely is already down. And this depends on that individual. If that individual then tries to call you right as soon as you get the number, then it's kind of like, you fucked. But if it's a person who just gets a number and walks off, then it's like, yeah, it don't even have to be your actual number. But if they do give you their number, then all they have to do is be like, yep, gave them my number, and then you block the number, and then you delete the number, or you never answer calls, and that's it. And what else? You can't really do much else after that point. But yeah, anyway. So typically I would have already passed on this chick, because the smoking aspect is a no for me. My complete no's are women who got kids, or pregnant women, or smokers. It's a fuck no. It's like, I'm good. Nah. I don't give a fuck how attractive they are. It's a hell to the nah. And unfortunately nowadays, like I said, due to all these little things that people are able to do, now you can't really tell who's smoking and who's drinking anymore. Back then you could tell based off of just looking at their teeth. Now you can damn near do these various things to then whiten your teeth, clean your teeth, or just literally, as a lot of people seem to do, is get rid of their own teeth or chip away at their teeth and put these new implant teeth in, so then they can have the perfect smile or perfect set of teeth. But in reality is, if you crack one of them things open and break one of them things, they gonna look like one of them scary movie characters with the little stick teeth coming out their gums, slim and like a skinny stick, but it's a tooth. And that's what their actual teeth look like underneath that, because they have to chip away at the outer edges of the tooth so then they can fit those little fake teeth in. What is it called? I forgot. Veneers. So they can fit the veneers in. So they're real teeth. They look like they, things better never crack, or we better never end up losing the technology for it. Of course we won't, but without them, these motherfuckers they've now made themselves look hideous if those things ever break or somehow erode or something. I don't know. Next one, dating me is like a cornfield maze. So, man, that is fucked up. So, can I cut through the cornfield? And I have to deal with certain blockages, pathways that take me nowhere or stop me in my path, and I have to go backwards and start all over again every time. Anyway, straight. She smokes weed. Like I said, I'm literally showing y'all that you're gonna see a lot of these ones who are, well, she's another half breed, but you're gonna see a lot of these black males are weed smokers. You're agnostic Christian, which means that she doesn't believe in a God. She doesn't believe in a God or the Jesus thing, but she because she put Christian, but she does believe in a God and a Jesus. That's very contradictory. But my assumption, I'm just doing this assumption thing because I've met, like I said, the last female I met, which was back in 2024, I believe, and talking to her, Jasmine, she said she was spiritual, and she's not Christian. But when talking to her, she constantly referenced a lot of Christian belief systems and God and Jesus, specifically the Jesus reference. So I said, you're not really spiritual. You're just you're a Christian that has an extra belief in the spirituality of nature. So you're a spiritual Christian, as I put it to her. But she was like, I'm not Christian. But she kept referencing Christian things and Bible things. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, she's another black Hispanic. I don't know if it's foundational, but now y'all know what I meant some years back ago. I don't know if I made a video on this or I said it on other channels in various chats, because I didn't really make videos like that back in the day. But I would say that there are tons of Miles Moraleses out here on the West Coast, or specifically California. Because a lot of black females back in the day were, like I said, were getting with other groups, and specifically Mexicans, getting nutted in, and a lot of them ended up being single mothers. And then there's various videos out there, and then they would blame it on saying it's a black dude's child, and then the black dude would find out that he's not the father, so then she didn't know who the father is, blah, 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 all the other stuff. But there's a lot of Miles Moraleses. If you don't know who that character is, it's a Spider-Man character. I would have said it's the first black Spider-Man character, but it's the first, I guess, mixed breed Spider-Man character. He's pretty much, the character depiction is he has a black father and a Mexican mother, and thus Miles Morales is. That's why I call it Miles Morales. Is in reality, out here you would see a lot more black females with other groups than black males, but uh, I don't know now today with the younger generation, due to them coming to a realization that black females out here specifically ain't worth about a damn, because it's just stress, headache, or them just trying to treat you like shit majority of the time. But then they get with another group and they treat them like there's a God. They're like God's best talent. I forgot the saying, uh, but they treat them like with the utmost everything respect. But then they choose to then treat someone of their own group like crap. And this has been proven. If y'all want me to like bring these little proofs up, I will. I'll go back and research and try to find these videos. Some of them are on YouTube. It was of a black woman literally telling other black women, if for the ones who are swirling, if y'all want to get with someone who's not black, y'all gonna have to stop doing all that shit that y'all do to black men and start doing this instead, to end up keeping these other groups. Literally verbatim, she said something like that, on the lines of something like that. That means that they know the bullshit that they do towards their own group of men, and they still continue to do it. But they know that all the bullshit that they do to their own group, they know that they shouldn't be doing it to other groups if they want to swirl. So they deliberately know that they're doing this and deliberately doing these things to us. Like, what the fuck? Ain't that some shit, right? And then they try to justify the various things that they do because they choose to go after the fucked up group of black men. Anyway, another Miles Morales. She doesn't know what she wants as for dating goals, but she wants to be monogamous. Are you a cat person? Because you never know it, but I have 2 pet tarantulas. Cool. Pre-coffee me. Okay. She is attractive. I'm looking for someone to join me in SF to see Max Fry September 26th. My birth month is coming. I don't know who the fuck Max Fry is, but I see you have it up here. Stare at the sun. I don't listen to whatever you listen to. Anyway, due to she's attractive, but she's mixed breed and she's a weed smoker. She's a Miles Morales. We're gonna go ahead and what I'll probably say, cornfield maze, laugh out loud. You think that's funny? I think that's a lot of headache, but tell me more about this. Let me put that tell me more about this, because I ain't listening to that shit about this event coming in September. I probably won't be able to go, or I may be 3 weeks out. It's within that time frame, maybe. Tell me more about this event coming in September. I always got to proofread just in case. Tell me more about this event coming in September. Send like anyways. I ended up sending a rose by accident. I pressed the wrong button and it went, and I was like, fuck. And you couldn't slide because I had my finger down. I tried to slide it down to the send like, but it wouldn't, and it still registered as send rose. And I was like, fuck. Why the send rose is like somewhat important, and we only get one of them back then when Hinge didn't change into what it is currently. You could at least like, I think, 15 people daily, and it would reset every 24 hours, and then you would get one rose every week. So you can use one rose a week, and then you gotta wait till the end of the week, whatever day you signed up, and then you'll get another rose, and then you can use that rose. Does the rose stack? No, you just get one. And so if you don't use it, then it just goes over to the next week. If you use it, then it'll go away, and you have to wait till the next week to get another one. Now, like I said, they shorten up the amount of likes you can do within the day. I think it's like 10 in total, but I'm not sure. And ultimately with the roses, it seems like they've made it to where now you gotta wait 2 weeks before you get another rose. And why roses are important is because roses help you get to the top of the line on their comment section or their whatever like section, so that they see it, and then most likely they'll read the ones at the top. And mind you, if y'all ever looked at some of the females, their accounts, they got tons of messages just lying down their whole timeline. And so for the ones who don't got that, then I assume y'all ain't as attractive as you thought you were. But for the ones who do, that's what you're competing against. A buttload of other motherfuckers who just sent the like thing, and so you ain't getting placed at the top, and she ain't gonna read. And depending on how she does her thing, sometimes most of them don't even read their thing. They look at your picture. If they find you attractive, they'll possibly communicate with you if the convo is good or not. If they don't find you attractive, then will they delete your comment? Most of them don't end up deleting it. They just possibly look at it and then keep going and go to the next. And there are ways where you don't have to look at the whole comment. But yeah. Anyway. Dating me is like having experience so profound it makes you remember why life is worth living in the first place. Oh, really? You are that intriguing? If so, then I hope it's true. Another pansexual. What the fuck does pansexual mean? If y'all are in the comment section, I'm sorry, I can't see your comments. But if you know what pansexual means, type that out in the comment section telling me what it means, because I don't know what the fuck that means. Don't have children, don't want children. So she wants no offsprings. No, 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 no. Sometimes a nanny, spiritual, black descendant, her forehead, damn, it's way back. So she might be African. Said might, I don't know, but it is back there, so typically that's African if we go by but not all of them still follow through with the same, because like I said, it's getting difficult to tell because they're mixing and whatnot, so they're changing their phenotypes to look more what black Americans look like, but typically that forehead always stays. But I don't know. I would say no, but she's not older. She's 26. Typically when you get older, that's why if you ever see a man who is older and his hairline hasn't receded back a bit or went back a little, you'll know when they went back a little. But receded back a little, then they are doing either one, the little hairline, bringing the hairline back by doing those little hair implants, or they're doing a little spray on thing to then bring their hairline back. There's various things that you can do nowadays to do that, but I don't, but that's why when I say I see older people who still got their, either one, they either did one of those things, or two, they don't deal with a lot of stress. They don't deal with a lot of stress on a constant basis, or they're able to afford the various things to alleviate their stresses like that. So that's my thought to it, my assumptions. I could stay up all night talking about philosophy. I love a deep conversation that actually makes you think. You look attractive, of course. Like I said, a lot of black females are attractive. It's just their minds are fucking twisted, batshit crazy, and all these above things that it makes no goddamn sense. And yet they keep destroying the black community. It is, like I said back then, there is no black community. We are trying to keep it. We are trying to bring it back, but right now, there is nothing really. But I don't know. It's something. I want someone who is intentional and consistent. I've been seeing this word intentional, but at this point in time, I think it's another bullshit term that they've used. It's similar to a term that they used about, I want a man who's emotionally mature, which in reality, there are countless men of all racial groups that are emotionally mature. We are doing things on an everyday basis that shows how emotionally mature some of us are. I'm not going to say a lot. Some of us are either avoiding situations where we know we're not getting anything, so we're not putting ourselves through, or having to deal with some bullshit that we're constantly dealing with. I want to be specific, but right now I'm just doing this. I don't want to go too off on a tangent. And various other things. In reality, I realized that when women use the emotionally mature thing, or anything where they title it with emotional something, it's them just literally trying to use another cover blanket of saying, hey, I want you to be able to know when the fuck I'm mad, or it's basically, I want you to know how to read my mind. So if I feel a certain way, you better know that I'm not feeling that certain way. Or when I need you for things, you better know, motherfucker, nobody knows. Nobody can read your complex emotional states. So you gotta talk. You have to have that emotional maturity to explain, tell somebody, so that we are aware of these things. But if you ain't doing that, then bitch, stop using that. Stop using the term. Because a lot of y'all do not have emotional maturity yourselves. Anyway, and see, this is the thing about Hinge. This is why I hate a lot of these dating apps nowadays. Some of them, there are only a few left that allow you to swipe, no limit on swiping. But for us as men, back then, like I said before, the dating apps and it was just websites. Back then, the probability of you matching with a female is very low. So you had to do the probability test of just swiping or clicking the check mark on every damn woman in your area, and then waited to see what woman then contacted you back, and then proceed from there. And out of the ones that contacted you back, then you got to find out which one that is actually serious about wanting to meet, and then the ones that wanted to meet, and usually this number ends up shrinking. Then the ones who wanted to meet, the ones who actually met you and then wanted to actually have a relationship with you, other than not trying to use you to then get a free meal or some shit like that, or use you to just waste some money on them for a date. You had to then hope that it wasn't going to be that, and that number would shrink. So now with this, it's like you got very limited likes and that whatnot. So ultimately, with the limits on the male side, it's like, okay, they should have kept the limit on the female side, because ultimately a lot of females, they're just gonna be having a bunch of messages in their message tab, instead of having to actually go out and like the various dudes. How often do they really need to go on the little matchmaking area where they start liking them? Not very many. So it's like, give us the opportunity to choose unlimited, and then allow them limit theirs, so that, because most likely they ain't gonna use it anyway. They're just gonna be going through their messages. That would work, because now with having limited messages or limited liking a day, I gotta then hold out, or I gotta skip over somebody who I would just go ahead and try and see if we message or if we match. I gotta skip ahead, so I gotta now be a little bit more pickier about who and what, because it's like, I'm gonna end up wasting this like, and maybe see someone that I wanted to like who was a little bit better, or you'll get that situation where you end up wasting a like, and you're like, maybe tomorrow. I'll wait till tomorrow when I get another refreshment of likes, and then you wait till tomorrow, and now that person that you was hoping gonna be in the queue is no longer in your queue, and now she's been put into the little star column on this app. That's the favorite, and now you can't do the rose thing. And that's the only way you'll get the ones in the star column is by doing the rose thing. Or you gotta wait till you pass through a whole bunch of the ones in the just the H column, and then you might get lucky and they might be in the queue in the H column. But typically, I mean, it's been an up and down thing with Hinge, because I know back in the past, it would be somewhere in the star column, and I would swipe no on every motherfucker just to see if eventually the ones who are in the star column would show up on my in my H column, and they never did. So I was like, wow, Hinge. So you're literally blocking people from ever matching with the people who are in the star column, or ever trying to match with the people in the star column. So they're putting them behind the paywall. Or, like I said, it's been an up and down thing where I've done the thing where I then decided one year to then do the same thing, but instead of pressing the X, I then go on there and then press, it's these little dots up here, and you can say remove. And what you then do is then click on one of those and say remove, and you go down and say I'm not interested in this person, and then they will never show up on your thing ever again. They'll be completely removed out of the queue. And so then from that point, I did that, and eventually the ones who were in the little star column did appear. But that means you're going to do that for a long time period till they end up appearing in there. Yeah, so, and in order to then get all those ones that you removed back, then you're going to have to go and basically go to, like, you're deleting your account, and then they'll give you an option to completely restart your whole account, because they don't want you to leave. Restart your account, so then now you'll get all the people that you removed back onto your thing. Anyway, dating is like having experience. Okay, you said that, and that's what makes me want to like, because you said having an experience that is so profound. But how profound, I want to see if this is true or not. She's shorter than me. She's a nanny. I'm a truck driver. And I also think about these is especially with the career thing, and that's why rather than put their actual career, what they're actually doing on there, because then I have to put that in the equation, because I've already had experience or encounters where I've either met someone who was a nurse, and this is either outside of Hinge, and this is, like I said, on the East Coast or down south. It's like I had better chances of actually getting with black females than I ever did out here on the West Coast. It's like I said, these West Coast black chicks don't fuck with a lot of black men, or they only fuck with a certain type of group of them, and that's all that's all who's gonna get them. Otherwise, they're fucking with other racial groups out here. This is why so many mixed breeds out here, or light brights, as I call, starting to pop up more and more out here. Anyway, I always kind of look at this, look at the jobs, because then I try to fit, hey, would they be willing to then go on the road with me or be on the road Do they have a profession where you can kind of come back to it any point in time? Or is it a profession that is something where you can make it mobile and you don't have to be stationary? I got a fart. Y'all heard that. I don't give a fuck. But so I try to think about that. And typically the ones who are in nursing, like I said before, I've already tried, and these motherfuckers will not, and they're constantly, and this is why most of the times their best matches are probably gonna be what they already do, is with the doctors there. But if you don't know, majority of women who end up going into nursing used to be prostitutes. So a lot of prostitutes either go for nursing jobs or law. They either go into the health or law field. Just a heads up. This is due to my research of years in the past. And then also you can find this one person. I don't know if he still has it up on his channel. Jason Black then even confirmed my research at one point in time, some years back when I was doing it, researching this stuff, that yeah, typically he said, he didn't say law, but he said nursing. But like I said, I found it to be law and nursing. These are the fields that they typically end up trying to go into while doing prostitution and all that other stuff. They do go into other fields, some, but these are the two that I notice a lot of them choose to go into. So I'm gonna have to pass on you, and it's simply because I don't have that many likes. And I would choose someone who says don't want children, only to have a conversation and find out why they don't want to have children. Is it because you can't have children, you can't produce any more eggs, or is it just because you got something going on down there that you might pass on to the child, and you don't want to have that passed on to the child? Or is it, or is it simply you tied your tubes and can't untie them or something like that? I don't know how it is for women. Or is it, or is it you just don't want kids? Simple, plain and simple. You just don't want them at all. So I try to find out the reason why, and then I'll make my decision there. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to pass. She's attractive though. This one, picking the place and telling me what time to be ready by. Okay. Straight and don't have children. You see how one section is missing out of this little bar scroll? She says don't have children. The other section would be a question if you guys have a Hinge dating thing. And why I know this, because at this point I'm familiar with the prompts that Hinge asks you. The next one would be, are you willing to have children? And you either put not sure, or yeah, I want children, or I don't want children. And so that part is missing. So she doesn't want to answer to that. So my assumption is either she's not sure or she just doesn't want them, but she doesn't want to put that up there. So that means she's hiding that answer. And thus you can either message her to figure out why, or you can go ahead and keep it moving. Short term, yeah, this is that casual sex, that hopping on dicks, the fun girl, basically. So for me, when I see short term, because I'm not looking for short, I'm looking either for long term or life partner. Especially since I haven't been in a relationship. Yeah, you think, oh, why don't you go in short term so you can at least get some experience under your belt. I'm good. There's too many of y'all running around with STDs not knowing that you got them because you too afraid to go check. And too many of y'all having all these random situations and bullshit things because of all this casual shit that y'all got going on. And too much of y'all not knowing who the fuck that is, or laying up with some dude and then laying up with another dude, and you with this other dude, or you married to this other dude, and it's like, yeah, I know it could happen in long term as well, but I'd rather not do the short term. I might try it, but I don't think I will. Trying to be open. That's if a girl can influence me or tell me why it'd be a better option other than risking for a possible STD or some shit. You're thoughtful, confident, and consistent. That really doesn't mean anything until actually being in a fucking relationship with whomever it may be, to see in that time frame. This year I really want to see the Amphilie coast. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Amalfi coast in person. Yeah, I may not be pronouncing that correctly. Yeah, this is gonna be, and this is another thing, because I just said how you're saying if she wants children missing. You see how I can't go any further, and further on it's then, do you smoke cigarettes, do you smoke weed, and do you do drugs? She did not even put these things saying that, no, I don't do those. When you know you don't do those things, you don't mind putting that stuff up. When you know you do those things, but you don't want the individuals who are possibly scrolling through your profiles to see if you do it or not. And for those are the ones who just click because they see the picture and they like it and they keep going, or they don't read or look through this stuff really clearly. This is how you know that they either do those things or they got children or blah blah blah, because she did not put it on here. So that means either she does it, but she doesn't do it often, or occasionally. She may do it every blue moon, so it doesn't fit into the answers, or she just doesn't want an individual to know that she does it, and so hopefully she can possibly change that in the future, or just keep that a secret from you. I don't know. But those are my assumptions when I see that you don't put it up there, because why not? Why not put it up there? So no. Next one. My most irrational fear, men. Your most irrational fear is men, but you're on a dating site. I hope that your thing says you're searching for women then. And if you're searching for women, why is Hinge then showing you to my timeline. So you fear men, but you out here trying to look for weird, isn't it? I guess this is the best way that you can get around men is through this dating app. Because you fear them, I'm assuming, in person, and everything else, because it just says you fear them. So don't have children, not sure, and sometimes. So she does a bunch of other stuff. She smokes, she drinks, she drinks, she probably smokes weed and does drugs. And sells network. That's all you want to do. When I see anything on social media, if they're like posting IG or telling you to go to some other site, or they're just trying to connect, as she's plainly putting it on here, then it's like, nah, I'm not trying to get somebody who wants to network, trying to find a relationship. And then if we have a relationship and we decide that, hey, good, and we can network by helping each other build, then great. This doesn't look like a black female, but I have my thing specifically just black females. And Hinge does do this sometimes, where I guess they don't list their race, but I don't know how they bypass or do this, but I'm assuming they're interested in black, so Hinge will then present you with these ones who don't have anything under their racial group. It's like, motherfucker, you don't even look. Anyway, I would just X on her right away, because she don't look black and there's no listing of saying she's black. But like I said, this is a live stream, so I'm letting y'all see. Dating me is like having your best friend and girl all in one. I don't have a best friend, so I can't understand. And girl, I don't have a girlfriend, so I don't understand. Don't have children. So she don't know if she wants children. She possibly does drugs, but she does not smoke weed or smoke cigarettes, and she does drink. Blah, blah, blah. Telling each other. Yeah, straight up white girl. Tattoos. So any of my white viewers, or any of y'all who like white women, there she is. You have to go on Hinge to find her. She looks attractive. Tattoos though on the arms. It seems like she might have sleeves. Random facts I love. We're gonna skip that, because I don't care to hear your voice if I don't know if I really like what you put. Efforts that's returned. Dating me is like effort that's returned and feeling cared for in ways you didn't know you needed. She said efforts that's returned. So that means I won't know even. That means I can only know if we end up dating. That means during this time period, which would be considered courting or just searching to see what's out there, you're not going to return the effort. So I don't know if that's like ideal to put on there, but I don't know. 32, much older. I have it capped to a certain age. Don't have children, open to children. She smokes weed, she smokes cigarettes, and she possibly does drugs. See, like I said, when I don't see these, then all I see in my head is there's a possibility that you do all those things that you did not list. And he just didn't want to list them because whatever your reasons, as I said before, my assumptions on your possible reasons. She's also a nurse, so nurse won't work with trucking, and I know because, like I said, I've tried to get with certain nurses before, and they're specifically, you're like a hoe to the hospital. You're going to constantly be going back and forth there, spend most of your time there, and most likely you're going to have a lot of affairs or sexual encounters with the doctors and the motherfuckers who work there, because most of your lives are going to be in that nursing place unless you're willing to give that up or do some other type of career. And by all means, I found out, man, if I screenshotted it somewhere, if I can find the archives, I remember talking to someone, chatting with someone on this who was a nurse, and I didn't say anything about her quitting her nursing thing, but she went 100 on me, saying, you think I'll give up this, go being a nurse, all the schooling I did to then be with you in trucking? And I didn't tell her she had to go. I said, this is a suggestion, or would you consider? And I don't think she read the word choices I was using when communicating with her. So she assumed that I was just telling her, hey, you got to quit this and do this to be. I was like, no. I'm just simply asking you that question. She was like, nah, give up the nursing or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. I guess we're not compatible. So, unmatched. Anyway, spiritual. The only reason why I'm staying on this is because, like I said again, this is the last time I'll repeat it though, because ultimately I'm on live and I'm trying to let y'all see my process and also just see what's on here and who's on here. Ultimately, if I end up seeing someone who's a nurse, my process is when I see nurse, I already know specifically their mindset, the outcome of it, and I just click off. I X, I remove, or blah, blah, blah. It's a no for me. And I know this is specific due to my own experiences. So I just go ahead and remove because I know it's not going to work, especially since I'm in trucking. And then also I do look at age, especially if they're hitting that 35, and it's different for women. That means those eggs, you're getting closer to the unnatural way of having children. And so thus you're going to be pressed for time to be in a relationship. So it's going to be always in a rush to push or try to get somebody to nut in you, and you'll rather be a single mom than actually be a mother, or not, than actually be a wife. Why I say this, another prime example, even though I'm not going to say all women she's the face of all black women, is another example of this is the countless single mothers out there. And then one that y'all can all kind of go and recognize because she has some type of fame is Ebony K. Williams. She's damn near been single all her life or been ran through by the various white dudes out there. None of them decided to take her off the market. And what she go and do? She go to a sperm bank so she can insperminate her egg to have a child. So thus she wasn't willing to wait or try to figure out or find somebody and be what that man needed, blah, blah. She just went ahead and did that. So ultimately, that's how I see most of those women who are getting closer to that 40. They on the clock. They on the time clock, especially if they want kids. They on the time clock. Even if they don't want kids, but they can still give birth, and they're around those ages. They're on the time clock, and they don't care to even have a husband or be married or stay. And they just want to get that nut so they can have them children, and they can have their little best friend for life, or like a pet to them, a companion. So if they end up not wanting to stay with you, they still got the child, and they're going to use that child like they use pets for companionship. Long-term relationship, open to short. I am used to monogamy, but I am open to people who prefer otherwise. Something new about preference. I'm not going to assume. I would assume so many things based off of what she just said right there, but I ain't going to do that. We're going to leave it there, leave it be. But she is a nurse, as I said. You love animals. I have 7 cats. God damn. And run a rescue as well. I'm always advocating for TNR. I don't know what that is. And feeding or trying to trap a stray kitty, and adopt it out to a home. Leave the cats alone, motherfucker. You kid. You know what that sounds like? She said, feeding or trying to trap a stray kitty. Think about if a cat was ever a human. That means you see some maybe adorable human or attractive human, and you're finding ways to corner that human or kidnap that human in order to then take it and adopt it and do whatever the fuck you want. Well, that human did not want to be adopted by you. Did you ask? Did you just see if I think about that bullshit? But that's my mind. We're the same type of weird. If you think horror movies might be more relaxing than the rom-coms, I don't know about all that. I don't really watch rom-coms. Go ahead, say no, she's attractive. But still a no. Career-wise, make me feel pursued, not confused. Another one, healthing, the nursing. Another, Miles Morales. I know she put Native American. So either she has a foundational black American parent who got with the Mexican or Hispanic and created her. So that's possible. Don't have children, want children, and she doesn't list that she drinks, smokes, does weed, does drugs. So she probably does all those things and nurse. I said all that, but it makes me think about the one, if y'all ever watched the Dispatch gameplay, it's like the superhero story dialogue gameplay where there's a certain villain who wants to be a hero. Her name is Invisibitch, and they make her powers so interesting, where she has invisibility. The only way she can go invisible is by her holding her breath. That's how she can go invisible. The longer she can hold her breath, the longer she can stay invisible. But the kicker is she smokes. So she kills her lungs by smoking. She's a smoker. So in order for her to activate her power or use her power time, she needs to hold her breath. But she kills her lungs that she needs to then use her powers for a longer period of time. Make that make sense. So very contradictory, where it just doesn't align. I don't know, that thought came into my head. Life partner, looking for chemistry, consistency, and a reason to delete this app. Effort is my love language. Be fluent. Half of these things these females don't be looking for. They're just like us. They look at looks first, and if they don't think you're attractive for them, then it don't matter if you match a lot of the things that they say they're interested in looking for. They ain't gonna match with you or get with you. They'll willingly get with somebody who they are more attracted to, that don't have none of those traits that they ask for, in hopes that they can hopefully change that individual to have the traits that they want. Ain't that something? It don't make no sense, but that's what they do. And this is why you got the various situations, the various baby mamas out here nowadays. Because they want to convince themselves that they can change or mold this individual to be what they want. Mold the man to be what they want. Mind you, this can happen. But how high is this? How high is this probability of this possibly happening? It's not high. And you can look back through the years and decades in the past of the various women out there. It hasn't been high. It's not high. But yet they all continue to try and all continue to end up in the same stereotypical situation. I go crazy for tacos, direct deposits, money, of course, and good conversation. What did I say again? But ultimately, she is Mexican, part Mexican. So if y'all remember the conversation I had prior, way back, still on the same line. I'm good. And I think I seen her on here before and tried to match with her, and it was a no-go anyway. Some of these motherfuckers on here, they be saying that they're active or they're on here, and a lot of them are not active at all. I've gone on here and seen profiles that still have the same damn pictures, same damn things on there. Hasn't changed, but somehow it says that they're I don't know, they're on here. It's like, I think what Hinge should do is, after a certain time period of you not being active on the profile or on Hinge, either you should delete their profile or then hide their profile completely from every user. That way, whenever they decide to come back on, then they'll have to go through a process of reactivating and then showing that they're active. Otherwise, they should just delete or just block them, shadow ban them, so that nobody ends up wasting their time liking their profile and they're not actively on here at all. Like go crazy for wine and a view. 30. Another nurse, and she has children. Of course, this is a straight up no. And for the children part, the nurse part, and let's see. Yeah. And she's another mixed breed. Like I said, out here, Cali, there's nothing but mixed breeds nowadays. The ones that are not mixed, they ain't really looking to get with, if they're foundational, they ain't really looking to get with another black person. There are some that will, but most of them are mixed. And you can see the looks. You probably go on the street and think she was just straight up black. But that's why I say I try not to guess what ethnicity they are. But I can always assume. But until I either actually talk to them or see their parents or see their, their family, then that's when I'll know for certain. But self-care, week prep, maybe a run, maybe a fun brunch. She thickums. But it's all in all. And some of the ones that got children be attractive and got bodies. But it's like, man, motherfucker, you got kids. That's why I said I got into a point where I see them, but for me, it's just like, no, I can't. I won't break that pet peeve that I have. I don't give a fuck how fucking attractive you are. It's a hell no in my book. And back then, I would have been saying, like, yeah, I'll get with them if it's just one child, and the child's at a certain age, below 5 years old, then yeah. And then most likely I would have a relationship with that person, but it wouldn't be anything towards marriage or anything that I assume to be long-term. And while I'm with you, I'd probably be looking for other females who didn't have kids, especially if I'm a dude who don't got kids. That was back then me. Now this me is more like, I don't even want to try to attempt to go for those. I don't. And if you don't tell me that you got kids and I got to find out, I'm damn sure dipping. I literally go ghost, but yeah. So that's how I am for is that. And it's starting to get hot. Let's see. Dating me is like Sunday morning, peaceful, full of laughs, and something you'll look forward to every week. Sunday morning is not, for everybody, it's not a day off. For some of us, we're still working. So, and Sundays are not always peaceful. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Management for government, so she works for the government. I can tell you about a story that I had where I was out in, I think, Arkansas. I had seen some chick who worked for the government. I kind of said I liked her, or I pressed the heart, liked her. Never received any type of messages back, and never seen her in the area that I was at. And then I think about 3 or 4 months down the line, bam, she pops up. At this point, I had already deleted Hinge. Y'all don't know how many times I've deleted Hinge and reinstalled Hinge. But anyway, I had probably deleted Hinge, made a new Hinge, and then started liking again. And then every time I would see her profile, I just pass, because it's not like you wanted to match with me then, but pass. But anyway, 4 months down the line, this chick ends up smack dab in the area where I was at. I start seeing her around. I went to the library, and I was sitting at the library, and for some reason, like I said, I forget names, but I remember faces. So my brain is able to take pictures of faces that it's seen and remember them, especially if I matched with you. If I didn't, or if I liked you. But if I didn't like you or whatnot, then I'd probably forget you. Or if I didn't forget you, I can erase you from my memory if I choose to. But anyway, I noticed her face, and I was like, I've seen that face before, but I didn't know where I seen it at. And then I seen her another day. She was in there, and she would walk by, look at me, and kind of smile, and then keep going. So, and this girl, she worked for the government. So at this point, I'm like, dang, you must have you probably one of those ones who then go out to then find the dudes that possibly match with you, or dudes that liked you, and then go and kind of do some investigation on them before you actually then get with them. And since you work with the government, you're able to do so. But anyway, possibly able to do so. Anyway, I ended up recognizing her about, I think, the second or third day. And I was like, oh, this is the chick off of Hinge. What the fuck? Did she literally, in my mind at that moment in time, I was like, did she literally come out here to stalk and at least get close to me to see who I was and what I did, blah, blah, blah. I was like, ain't that some weird shit? But that's my assumptions. Anyway, I know I said that 2 times or 3 times. And saying a lot of but I don't give a fuck right now. So this one says she's black and Southeast. This picture, if this is her, motherfucker, you do not look black at all in this picture. And this one, I'm not sure. I would say you would pass off as something else. I don't say this 10% breed, but you look more like something else than you look black. So, long-term relationship, I'm looking for something real. I don't rush feelings, but if we're a good match, if we are a good match, I'm loyal, intentional, and worth the wait. She got a child. Did she put on here she has children? Yep. So that's a no already off bat. And letting y'all see. And she kind of don't look black. In that photo, she don't look it at all. This photo is iffy. She looked like she a mixed breed. That's what she looked like. But leads with effort such as, did she put that? She's Southeast Asian. Leads with effort such as being intentional when it comes to planning dates or spending time. Someone who notices the little things, follows through, communicates clearly, and makes me feel like a priority. Do you have a fucking grill on? Look like you got a grill on the bottom row. You'd never know it, but I'm just as happy dressing up for date night as I am sweats playing. I am in sweats playing Tomb Raider or GTA. Alright, there you go. Y'all got to see. So now, since I've kind of went through a few of them that y'all got to see, the ones that have children, so now I'm going to start doing what I normally do when I go through these apps. So if I see have children, I'm just going to click off. Y'all can, if y'all are in this area, y'all can then look to hopefully match with them or see them in your queue and go from there. But for me, I'm gonna just click off. She's Nigerian, so that's not foundational. Make new friends, meet people, explore the outside world. Straight, Fairfield, don't have children. Sometimes, no. And I'm more likely to find, well, I can't say all, but she doesn't do some of those things. So I'm not even gonna say the word that I'm not even gonna state the statement. I'm gonna state long-term relationship, open to short, monogamy. She's attractive in the face. Korean meat. Give me a travel tip to Korea. Being straightforward and honest. You got a mold. Alright, you got a mold. It was faint then, so it grew over time. It looked like it's growing over time. She's still attractive. People explore outside world. Monogamy. 27. Nothing on here that I can kind of talk to her about. First date. Okay, I see it. Let's go with this. The genre. I spell that right now. Genre, like genre of movies. Are you interested in? Are you interested? Should I say interested or intrigued? I'll just say interested in. What genre of movies are you interested in? Movie. I gotta answer this shit. Where are you at? Fairfield. Today is Saturday. This weekend. So if you actually, and if that actually happens, then let's see. I'll let y'all know if it does or not. This one, she's meh. We'll get along if you love dogs and gaming. I have an overly friendly German Shepherd who doesn't like to play a few games.
Should have been a comma somewhere in between there. German Shepherd and who doesn't. I guess and still work. I don't know. It's like it doesn't have children, open to children. Don't smoke. You do smoke weed. And you ain't listing what type of ethnic group you are. Go ahead and say bye. Like the eyes. A random fact I love is lemon has more sugar than strawberries. My IG. Y'all can look her up if you choose to. Still in Hawaii currently. Travel again soon. So she's bisexual. I know it says bi-curious, but that means that she wants to fuck a female at some point. And usually when a female gets to a point of curiosity, they will then go through with it. She's a Virgo. I'm a Virgo. No, you smoke weed sometimes, and you possibly do drugs, and you sometimes drink. Massage therapist, spiritual. Don't have kids, right? Nope. See, this is another one where it doesn't list if she has kids or if she wants kids. So my assumption is she does have kids. And back then, I got an Instagram. I'll post that Instagram post that I had put up. But back then, or if I can find it, but it's an old Instagram. I posted something, or I said something along the line saying that most Virgo females end up with children and end up not still with the father. Sometimes there are some who stay with the man that they with, but on the flip side, Virgo males, we are often end up with no children. I'm not saying this is a certainty. I'm not saying that this is 100% correct, because it all depends on the environment. Also, it depends on what racial group, ethnic group, your upbringing. But most of the times, for as my example, using me, we end up with no children and not in that situation. Anyway, spiritual, cool, Hawaii, English, and Amharic. I don't know what that is, what language. Short term, I'm not serious about finding a partner at the moment. Non-monogamy, so she's about hopping, carousel dick hopping. I'm looking for a primary partner to be with, but I don't mind if you date other people. Nice body on this little thing. Yeah, I know. Vacation 31, woman straight. And it doesn't show kids. We're gonna go ahead and move on. The one thing you should know about me is I'm walking paradox. See what this shows first. Don't have children, don't want children. Okay, silly, nerdy, silly, nerd, ambitious, but laid back and gentle, spirited, calm and intentional. I am calculated yet impulsive at times. I crave genuine connection, but am definitely introverted by nature. She drinks and she smokes weed. She got white friends. Term and monogamy. 33 up there. I know I want someone that's kind, caring, honest, open-minded, has a good sense of humor, take themselves too seriously. I may take myself too seriously. Not that playful. If you catch me outside, I can almost guarantee that you catch me. Cargoes with boasts. Monochromatic shoes about 90% of the time. So just straight one color. My most irrational fear, believe it or not, I'm not absolutely terrified of butterflies. You know, she got a grill on, staying classy. There's one of those things again. The dispatch character where she's I ain't gonna go to the whole explanation because I already did. Where she's a smoker, but her superpower relies on her to hold her breath in order to use her superpower. But she's a smoker. You know what smoking does to your lungs. Anyway, she got a picture of what appears to be a grill on, and it says, "I won't shut up about staying classy. I won't shut up about staying classy." I don't know. Other people's definition of classy may be different from mine. Who knows? Oh, she's a foundational. Possibly. It says black and native. I just put black and put FBA, but hell, I could do the black and native to distinguish that I am foundational. That's my assumption, is if you're foundational, you'll put black and native, or just black and then put the description of what you are underneath. Gemini. Ooh. Geminis are something. Sometimes. I'm not saying it because I've dated a Gemini. I'm saying it because, like I said, that stepsister that I talked about, who is now a prostitute, and as I said before, there's different versions. There's your full sibling, or we just call it sibling. That means y'all both share the same parent. There's your half sibling, where you share one parent, and your other parent is y'all don't share. And then there's the last one, the step sibling. You share no parent, but your parents decide to get together and marry, and now you're siblings, if you choose to want to be siblings. But anyway, yeah, she's a Gemini, my step, and they are some doozies. So she smokes weed. She possibly smokes cigarettes, which is even more horrible. She already says she drinks. She looks attractive. You gotta let me know how sleepy I am. just I could sleep all night talking about. Let's see. I don't feel like really commenting on this one. And I know I'm probably short on commenting. So white. So maybe she's into white dudes based off of, seems like a bunch of people just hanging. The fact that she got the blonde hair going on. This is what I do. Is when I see black females rocking different hair colors or blonde hair colors, based off of my experience and what I've seen, encountered, typically those females typically like, I'm not saying that it's 100%, but based off my experience of what I've seen, is they like dating outside. So they ain't really looking to date inside. And why I have to go off of this now in public, will I kind of get a better sense of this? Yes, in public I will get a better sense of this by when I'm walking or possibly going towards the approach and trying to read and calculate her body language, signs, everything. It's a lot of shit that goes through it, through with the approach. Then I can tell if she's actually interested in black men or not, or interested in me, not black men. I'm gonna just specifically say me. And typically it's a no, so then I keep going. And based off the younger years, high school, usually chicks who got different hair colorings and all this other stuff, are doing the rocker type look and whatnot, are mostly interested in non-black men, white men specifically. So, and with this dating thing, I don't want to end up wasting liking an individual and get no response back. So this is why I'm very choosy, because I gotta put these in my calculating processes. I look at photos. I seen women on here put, if y'all read our profiles, if you're not, because I'm assuming a lot of men don't read them, but I try to read it and look at pictures, what they put, look at what they've decided to show out to the world, and choose from that, and choose if I want to waste a like on them or not. Now, some of them I might just say, fuck it, let me try and see if I end up matching with. But, in this case, even if I choose the X, the thing with Hinge is it eventually recycles all the individuals that you passed on. It'll either recycle it the next time you log in, or it'll recycle it some way down the line, or once you ran out of everybody in that location, depending on the parameters that you put for wherever you wanted to try to find somebody. Or you can do the whole, just completely restart the account and you'll have everybody pop back up. But yeah, I ain't trying to waste a like, and I know I probably only got a few likes left. Instead of grabbing drinks, adult arcade. What is an adult arcade? They got dildos where you play with dildos and shit like that, or something? Or are you just talking about a arcade? Arcade doesn't have an age requirement on it. It's just an arcade. But you saying an adult arcade? So is it like a dildo gaming arcade with a lot of sex games and shit around? Go hiking, go to an amusement park. Typical Sunday brunch and mimosas. What the fuck? I don't drink a mimosa, but yeah, don't have smokes weed. Like I said again, you're gonna constantly with a lot of black females, especially being a black man who don't smoke weed, don't do none of these things. It's gonna be very difficult to find a black female who does not smoke weed that is also interested in you. Because majority of them smoke weed. And for the ones that don't, you all get lucky if they don't smoke it and or never smoked it and are interested in you. Does she have kids or no? Okay, you're good on that. Monogamy, life partner. Try new food spot we've both never been to. Food out here is ass. I don't know what you talking about. Nowadays, a lot of it tastes ass, and I've been traveling around. I need to do lives on the various locations I've traveled to and the foods that I've tasted. Where they said the foods are good, but if you go to the various restaurants out there, no. Them shits are either overly seasoned or not seasoned or properly or right. You would have to then go to your grandparents or your parents if your grandparents are still alive. Mine's passed. They're still alive, and go to actually get some decent food or good food. The old southern cooking food. Nowadays, when I was out there, no. Restaurants and shit that I went to, no. I thought you had like hamster teeth at first, but anyway. No, I'm not trying to clown. I ain't trying to clown on her. She attractive. Would you ever give up smoking? Would be my question. Let's see, which photo? Black hair, red hair. Black hair. We're gonna choose the black hair. And I know I said the hair coloring is another, but now, mind you, this is gonna be something that is twisted. I know, because you gotta learn these little dynamics. If they color their hair dark red or some type of red, not bright red, or some darker red or red that's not the bright red or the normal red, is a little shade darker, typically they typically still do date black. Typically. Now, let me not use the word typically. I'm going to say they possibly will date black. Various other colors, based off of my experience, they don't. They possibly don't. Let's use the wordage there. Would Smoking. Would you give up smoking? Naya, she got an African necklace, so yep, and she's African. Long walk with stops for sweet treats, shops, bonus. It's a hike with beautiful scenery, a law firm. Typically tell you to stay away from lawyers. You're one of those freaking lawyers, so I don't know how your mindset is towards Black Americans. Foundational. You hear a song you like and repeat it until it hurts. She cool. I'm just gonna have to do that though. A tattoo, travel, explore different cities. I think I'm getting ready to 2 more, and then we'll end the hinge thing. Travel and explore different cities. 29, woman, straight. She got children. Fucking what is it? What's that where you get, or is a bunch of flashing lights, various green flashing lights, seizures. You might have seizures looking at that shit. It's another word, I forget. My simple pleasure, perfumes, candles, incense, paperback books, dainty jewelry, chocolate, a successful leg or back day. 28, another children thing, damn. This year I really want to go on at least one more trip. I think Guatemala in November. I want to see a volcanic eruption. 34, you're up there. 6 years left. Sometimes no, and you do drugs. Okay. Tech, spiritual, long term. Nice tits. I said you should leave a comment if you're into any of the following: photography, poetry, travel, cooking, trying new restaurants, board games, camping. You seem like you're into the hippie type thing. See if we like each other as friends, can make each other laugh and build from there. Yeah, you got nice tits. Who's the dude behind you? Mm. Mm. 34. East. I'm not gonna be the traveling type though, because I'm in trucking, and I don't know if you would like to be with somebody who's not on the traveling tip of what you're on, saying that you're in tech and you got more free time than I would have. You could work, but them septic rings, I remember what somebody said, some YouTube said about black females who have those. So they ain't really interested, so I'll be wasting my time trying to get you to probably not interested in black men. Let's get together for a walk, museum. Guess this about me and my favorite book genre. Hint, Slughart. Is that what the book is called? Slow romance. Oh, so that's what you're into? Slow romance books? Okay. Don't have children. Clear if you want children. No. Possibly drink. Social worker. Christian, unfortunately. Libra. Liberal. Black and proud. Okay. I'm serious about finding a partner to be exclusive with, but it might take some time for me to warm up. 28. This rich history. Oh, you a tour guide? What are you again? Social worker. I don't know what a social worker incorporates or what you do exactly. Laugh at cringe memes for a little too long. My favorite at the moment is Inside You There Are Two Wolves. Bonus points if you know which one I'm talking about. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Get someone who looks at you like where I go when I want to feel a little more like myself. I go off to find a quiet place to pray, reflect, decompress. I always feel more grounded after. Or to myself, life gets too busy. It must. Cow. San Francisco Bridge. How old are you? 28. I'm Christian. Damn, you are attractive and decent. But I know you're gonna be heavy into Christianity and possibly want somebody who is heavy into that too. I'm not one at all. Government. Dorkest thing. I love old history, random facts. You're 30 to have kids. Nope. Key to my heart is knowing me as a result of your curiosity. I love a free thinker. Don't have children, okay? Sometimes, no. You're an attorney. Ew. That head. I'm a lover girl. It looks decent in the front. I really do not care what you're mixed with, truly. I do. Because I care about my bloodline. And I want my connection to a foundational bloodline to still stay strong. If I were to have children. Your friend look fine. Who is she? Bunch of white people a lot. Work with. Friend look slightly better than you. So great. Dating me is like so great. Okay. attorney. I'm not sure now with attorneys. I'm using something that Kevin used to say. Kevin Samuels, he said never date anybody in the nursing field because most likely they're always at the hospital, and most likely they're gonna have a lot of more interactions with the doctors and that shit going on or whatever. Never date anybody in the military because that's almost like dating somebody who's a police officer. So any weird situations ever happen, you're gonna always be in a fucked situation because they work in those type of fields. Unless you also work in that field and you get with somebody who's working in that field, then you're typically good. And then don't get with anybody who's in the law field, because if something goes left, this motherfucker is gonna already have everything set up because they work in that field to maybe fuck you over. The only reason you would want to get with one like that is if this is a high school sweetheart, so y'all been together for some time, so you know them. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be in these professions. It's something that someone like me would think about. The only reason why I'm iffy on this right now is because I have a cousin. She's basically a lawyer, or in that field, criminal justice, working around that. I ain't gonna say her business, but yeah. So I'm not sure. If I were to get with her, then I would at least, if something go left and she had a whole scheming plan behind her, she had a backup type shit then I at least got somebody close in the family who is a lawyer, so I'll have her to fall back to get help. Date someone who's in this type of field, just in case. I said 2 more, but I kept going because the other ones were just single mothers. They had kids, so I didn't want to just end it on the have kids note. So 1 more after this, and then that's it. I'm just gonna like this photo of you. What if I told you that I really don't care what you're mixed with truly? What can I talk to you about? Dating me is like so great. Okay. You're a bunch of... Okay. And that's... car, a lover girl, you're a liberal. I mean, as a result of your curiosity, I love a free thinker. Knowing me as a result of your curiosity. Yes. The fact that I'm saying this right now, you have that on there. I love a free thinker, and I'm a free thinker. I feel like something's gonna go left. Let's look like a genuine. It's a content face. Smile is content smile. Freckles. Piercing nose. She's the only one who came overdressed. Everybody else is in casual attire. No. Alright. Last one. Dating cool Romy. Dating me is like dating Kurama or Kuroma. If I do Japanese, Kurumi. Dating Kurumi. Dating me is like dating Kurumi. What does Kurumi mean? I'll have to look that up later. Atheist. It's cool. Don't have children. Sometimes. Don't know if you want children. No, and no. Which is great. What you drink? You're another Miles Morales. The Miles Morales. And you don't know dating goal relationship type. Alright, that's it. Thank you. We're gonna go ahead and shut this down. See if I got any comments on see my videos. I can't see them. It's not loading like it would normally load. So I gotta do it the other way. Go live. 2 views. So I got 2 people viewing. Or I had 2 views. So I got 2 people viewing. Hello. Or I had views. So I got 2 people. Whenever I use this. Hello. Or I had views. So I got 2 people. Whenever I use when I hello. Or I had views. So I got 2 people. Whenever I use when I hello. Or I had views. So I got 2 people. Whenever I use when I hello. Or I had views. So I got 2 people. Whenever I use when I hello. Or I had views. So I got 2 people. Whenever I use when I hello. Or I had views. So I got 2 people.